We're back with another blog rocking show, aren't we, Coco? Now, hello, I am Trade Spotting, and this is Trade Spotting on the economy. Yosuke Coco. Welcome to the show. And what a show we have lined up for you today. Chatbox, lovely chatbox, nice to see you there. Thank you very much, Japney, you Boogie, all those generous viewers. We got some cans, we've got a big wheel. This is a martini, shaken and stirred, because I picked it up at the same time as Coco and she was not happy about the transportation method. So we're going to dive into the market situation today now. Very serious deep dive, as you've become used to here on the channel, about the financial state of the modern corporate ecosystem, which is like an actual ecosystem, but with less dolphins and more people called Tim. So we shall begin, as all serious financial broadcasts do, by reminding you of the warning that nothing you're about to hear will constitute trading advice. But you might leave slightly confused in a sort of educated way. Chapter 1. Chapter 1? Or are we going straight to... I should probably catch up with the wheel, but let's say the wheel is beginning again. Chapter 1 is Apple. We love a little bit of Apple, don't we? Apple. Here it is, daily time frame, testing that support level. We talked about big news with Apple. A company so famous. Am I on the screen anymore? A company so famous, it makes fruit boring. Screen? Yes, I am. Up there. Okay. Sorry, getting my bearings. Yes, fruit boring again. Let's make fruit boring again. The tech titan Apple announced it made over $95 billion in revenue. That's more money than exists in most countries. Quite possibly more than I own in parking fines. Earnings per share $1.65. A bit like saying everybody got a slightly bigger piece of the pie. That's the story on Apple today. Only over the last week, majority, 374 down. I didn't get any pie. Apple facing $900 million in extra costs from tariffs. That's a lot of money to lose. Just for moving things over a couple of invisible lines. I once lost 20 quid at Dover, which is a port in the south of England before you go to France. But I bought a novelty baguette pillow. Not sure what Apple have been buying. To dodge the tariffs, they're making more of their iPhones on India. We covered this in the Discord. And the interesting dynamic that because India is poorer, they're not able to afford new tech. So they refurbish old tech, which gives them an extra element to the value chain, accelerates the readiness for manufacturing in that particular geography. So back to geography now, and Apple dodging their tariffs, making their iPhones in India, more commonly known for spices, cricket, and Surrey with an accent. Go exploring the boundaries. CEO Tim Cook, not a cat, a man who's never actually cooked, though, as far as I can tell, reassured his investors, saying Apple will continue to invest in innovation, which is Apple speak for we're going to buy some more of our own shares. And then Amazon secretly, Amazon taking over the world as their share price goes down. How they quite keep it a secret, I'm not sure. It won't just give me it. Hello, Coco. Yes, it's exciting, isn't it? It's very exciting. Oh, Coco, you're not supposed to fall down like that. Who do you think you are? Amazon. Ha, jokes. Coco loves it, don't you? Coco love the jokes. Loves Amazon. Not the rainforest. Coco, not a big fan of forests. Sorry, you do like dig your own little landscaping recently. So yeah, Amazon, big news, right? It's a website. You can buy a hammock there. You can buy. It's the website where you can buy hammocks. They had a lovely Q1 2025. They earned $155.7 billion. It's a lot of dollars. Sounds like an implausible number, really. Like, I've got this mate, Dave, who says he makes a figure something like that, drop shipping yoga mats. And I'm sure Dave's talking out of his bum bum, but that's the sort of place you hear those numbers from people like Dave. And Amazon, Q1 earnings. Wall Street clapped politely. Stocks dropped moderately. Next quarter might be worse, was the guidance. So investors panicked, and as they often do, like the seagulls round here when I opened the bin, they started screaming, why? Why? Tariffs again? Turns out charging 145% extra to import shit from China is bad for business. Who would have guessed it? I thought this was supposed to solve the problems. There was a kerfuffle with DJT, Mr. Donald Trump, who rang up Mr. Jeff Bezos, bald billionaire, nice guy, looks like Trump really, in loads of ways, other than the fact that both a very similar profile, at least in my imagination, right, because of the fact that they're billionaires and he's got such a recognizable outline. All billionaires just sort of fit into that shape now, even if quite plainly they don't look like that at all, like Bezos. Isn't it right, Bezos? Kerfuffles. Anyway, they had a phone call. It was a bit of a shouty match. Amazon denied everything. Like, if your mum catches you smoking, nope, wasn't me. Don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what smoking is. That wasn't me. So that's Amazon. They're not smoking. And then Tesla, they had a good day. 2.2 something. Electric dreams, European nightmares. They've got big dips in your Tesla. You feel it in your tummy. Tesla is having what pro traders would call a total stinker overall. Sales in Sweden fell by 80%, which is a lot. Unless you're talking about fish. Right, unless you're talking about fish, because there's so many fish. In fact, Tesla's European sales have fallen nearly everywhere. France, Portugal, the Netherlands, even Denmark. Even Denmark, a country where people don't even honk their horns at each other unless it's a celebration of something. Even in Denmark, they've decided, nope, no Teslas. Consumers are ditching Teslas for cheaper Chinese electric cars. And possibly because Elon Musk is extremely politically active right now, which is just not the done thing, isn't it? It's not the done thing. You know, you get a slightly older wife and you have a company. Sorry. Yes, you have a company. You get a company and then you don't get involved in politics. Turning to Shell, a company who've literally run political systems, are doing the corporate version of I'm on the wrong keyboard again. She's turned the lanes against me. There's Shell. Oh, we had some good TA on Shell, so we did. That's the daily time frame. Some down important levels, held one, back at resistance. We'll explain support and resistance shortly. So yeah, they've found a 5 billion trillion down the back of the Shell sofa. $5.58 billion in profits. It was better than expected. Still down from last year. Closed up 182%. Oil prices were higher back then, so easier to make money. Not a huge surprise about those earnings. And people back then were really panicking about their energy bills, saying it can't stay this high forever. So it was very clear what was coming. But still, a surprise to some people. Oil prices are down, so are profits. Shell's decided to cheer itself up by buying back $3.5 billion worth of its own shares. What did we tell you? We said there was going to be one of these things. One of these redonkulous things. I better be bloody live. Tell you to better not put me not live, YouTube. You big cheeky thing. Is this show live? Make Jamie drink again. That was a bit of, but that was a previous chat though, wasn't it? I can check over here. Are we? At least know if this window's working. Live? We alike. We were just about to break into BP. Whatever happened in that chat box is not doing the business. I'm gonna guess. We are live. Ba-da-bap. Well, look, watch now, trade spotting. That's the best notification going. Look, there's me on my phone. Oh my god. I can't even hear myself. Oh my god, this is so good. I was so jealous of you guys. Well, the chat box isn't doing its business. Presumably, I'll be able to read it when I go. Meow, Coco, you're there. It works there. Let's go. Okay, people are and then live. Does it work now? Refresh. Okay. There it is. Sweet. Awesome. I know, Coco. Yep. A little blip, but we're back. So, yeah. People panicking, like Coco is right now, about the idea that she might not get outside in the next 5 seconds. Well, that was what kind of people invest in Shell. When they panic, you have to wonder what's happened because it's very long-term investment normally. Pretty obvious what's going on there, especially if you're pay for energy. So they're buying back their own shares like everybody else is doing. A bit like throwing yourself a surprise party with money you borrowed from yourself. But don't tell yourself because it's a surprise, right? You certainly can't complain. They also bought Pavilion Energy, which is from selling off some other stuff in Nigeria and Singapore, which is just too far away to visit at the minute. Tidying up, really. Just tidying up, like procrastinating by tidying up. And let's not forget that renewable energy division. Let's not forget about that. The renewable energy. Oh my god, we can't forget about the renewable energy. Oh my god. Being nice to the planet is expensive unless you're a tree, in which case it's free, right? Would we cut trees down? If they screamed, would we cut them down as readily? Well, yes, if they screamed all the time for no good reason. BP also reporting this week, oh dear, they made $1.38 billion. Technically that's profit, but in the oil business it's pennies. 49% drop from last year. BP, get off your bum. Yeah, whoa. It's like going to the gym every day, realizing you've lost weight, but it's only the subscription free from your wallet. Chapter 6, Reddit. Internet karma doesn't pay the bills, especially BP's bills. Meow. Especially BP's bills. Reddit, it's like the town hall for memes, isn't it, Coco? 4% down, despite no major announcements. Turns out the stock market's a little bit like an Irish mum. If you don't call with good news, she assumes something's wrong with you and sells your shares. Reddit's fall is a reminder that just because you're trending doesn't mean you're winning. That was the lesson I learned the hard way after a llama in the lift last year. Remember that one, folks? Of course you do. Famous trade spot in lore. So the bigger picture is it's business as usual, but weirder. And we're forgetting what capitalism means over here. What does it all mean? Is capitalism actually collapsing? Is Elon Musk going to rename Tesla Freedom Car? Tesla. Coco wants a Freedom Car right now, but even that won't get you out that door, Coco. Shell, smiling, Shell. Tesla's frowning. There's the Tesla chart. We're back at it. Reddit crying. Apple flogging those yoga mats. Amazon's quietly taking over everything as their price dips to ridiculous bargain levels. So if you're a consumer, you should be expecting higher prices. This is pretty clear messaging on the channel. If you're a company, you're going to have much lower margins. And if you're a billionaire, just please stop using Twitter, especially like after 8, right? After you've had your after 8s, that's it. No more Twitter for you, billionaire. So, Trace Buttons. Business update for the week. Thanks for listening. You may never understand the things that we talked about here, or be able to afford the products these companies make. Like Coco, no idea. She's just no idea she'll never be able to do these things. Can't get a new iPhone, Coco. How does that make you feel? She doesn't care. She's over at the camera rubbing herself against you right now. So, what do you reckon? Let me know any tickers you want to check it out. I'll have a look. Presumably there's a couple you're interested in. Live person. Broke out that downward sloping resistance. Interesting. We can talk about what is support and resistance. Can't we? Chat box? Let's check in with the chat box. Don't you have it on the screen here? You're on the screen somewhere. There you are. Yay. Hey. So we'll talk about live person. Let's do that. 6-day work weeks. Oh my God, that's what it's like in America. 6-day work weeks. And you're lucky. 7 days for commuting. So do you want to do some technical analysis? Technical analysis, yes. If you're new to the show and you don't know what technical analysis is, it's basically like watching a group of seagulls predict where a sausage roll is going to land. So you've got your charts, right? They're not actually here on the screen. That's a big wheel in the chat box. It should be spinning. It will do as soon as I click the spin button. And then we'll see who gets to drink. Is it me? Is it you? Is it everybody? But you got your charts, right? Just not there at the minute, but you can imagine they're there. Like squiggly lines, like an eel. Like an eel on holiday. And you've got these candlesticks and they're like haunted lighthouses, and they'll tell you if the tide's out or if there's a huge tsunami coming. They just tell you. They say it in a secret language that you can only learn if you're really, really intelligent. But if you're past a certain age, it's impossible, so forget about it. Just the candles, they're lighthouses. And then you look at them for patterns, which is a bit like I have a cousin called Kevin. He tries to predict the harvest based on the mood of his cat, and it's not dissimilar to that. You just have to get particularly good at it, and some of it's self-fulfilling. You know, these cats, they do seem to wind together. Have you noticed that as Coco's been meowing? Have you got the background surround sound? So yeah, so that's what we'll look at, and we'll look to the charts for technical analysis. So do you want to do that? We'll find some double tops and stuff. Double tops and double bottoms. We all like a double bottom. Some people are confused. What is a double top though? You know, it just sounds very strange. It's definitely a very illustrative term, isn't it? But it's not what you're thinking. Instead, it's when a squirrel does a couple of hops on a trampoline and then it says, "That's enough exercise for today. That's enough." That's a double top, just like that. And there's other famous ones. Try to catch up with the chat box here. It's just flying. Live person's earnings next week. Whoop whoop. Luke Spears is excited. Luke Spears is excited. Right. Love me a double bottom. Big time. Who doesn't? Right. We're all in it for the double bottoms. That's half of the reason we're here. Don't tell anyone. Okay, so what was it we were going to... Yes, we were going to check who's having a martini first, and it's probably me. Like, onto the spinning machine, right? So, who is this in aid of? 9 of 15. Luke Spears, it's in aid of Luke Spears. Let's sign some double tops and bottoms. All right, let's find some. Coco, are you ready? Are you ready for this, Coco? Yeah, meow. Are you ready for this? Go, go. Yes. Oh, okay, brilliant. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. I really hope it's me. A lot of effort into that intro. Chatbox. Oh, Chatbox is drinking. Chatbox is drinking. Or Luke Spears. Hold your horses. Oh, sorry, I just had to get my great granddad's playing cards out. So, Luke Spears, have no fears. Luke Spears is here. So when you get in a Joker by accident, that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Right. So what we can do is the cards aren't massive. I'm just tiny. What we can do is, Luke Spears, you can challenge me, double or quits. Double or quits, Luke Spears. Hey, why? You know what you're thinking right now. I missed those train spotting shows. He's just a little man in a box. He's just a little man in a box. So you can challenge me, Luke Spears, double or quits. Right, I go first, and then you can choose higher or lower. Right, this is me. Absolutely, absolutely killing it. So, what do you reckon? Is it double or quits? Up to yourself, Mr. Spears. It's up to yourself, Mr. Spears. While Luke is making up his mind, challenged. Ah, you're challenged, so you want to go higher or lower, Mr. Spears? You got a 3 diamonds. That's lower, Mr. Spears. That's lower, Mr. Spears. So chat, you just have to drink again, and it's Luke Spears' fault, everybody. So you know who to blame. Just write that down somewhere, just so that you don't forget by the end of the show. It's Luke Spears' fault, right? Okay, so we're taking those out of the picture now. Okay. So that's one of you defeated, not yet vanquished, right? You lost the battle, but the war continues. Coco, you're trying to remind me of that, aren't you? So next up, anyone else fancy a piece of action? It's harder than you think. Harder than you look. Isn't that Coco? You excited? What, have you noticed something? We've got a plethora of birdhouses outside the window now. And for a good month, I thought, is birds blind or something? What is it with birds? There's too many insects nowadays. Probably is. Probably is, but that's a different question. And then they all just turn up at once. Now there's they have a battle. There's like a bird battle. It's a Royal Rumble every day for the seeds. Isn't that right? So, wow. Just basking in the glory of my big cards. Next up, you wanted to hear about the famous head and shoulders pattern. Well, that's the thing that looks like a bouncer at a nightclub. Yes, a bouncer at a nightclub. Classic outline of a bouncer at a nightclub. Bouncer with emotional issues. One over here, got the thing, just get that kind of vibe. I don't know what it is, but I imagine they scream for it in job interviews. Right? What else do you want to know about? This is a really exciting show, isn't it? Getting the best explanations. You obviously are the new viewers that are thinking, well, I've always heard about these moving averages. What are moving averages? I just can't understand them. I need somebody to explain to me what is a moving average. This guy, he knows the answer. He knows the answer. Right, so what is a moving average? What's it telling us? I do. As you see, she wants to know what a moving average is. She says, well, what's a moving average? What is it? Right, well, it's like asking, how fast has this ferret been going for the last 50 days, right? And if the ferret starts lagging below its own average, then you might want to sell the thing, right? You might want to sell the ferret, but not if it's a golden ferret. Definitely don't sell it if it's a golden ferret, because that's like a bullish signal, probably. Meow. So this for back to the old race points. Oh my god, I missed this. Right? I have to spin the wheel. I have to spin the wheel twice, in fact. I got 5 on it. I don't, Coco. You've not got any money on it. Sorry, Coco. You've immediately gone down my priorities. You need to learn to speak my love language, Coco. It's dollars, not meows, Coco. Right, so here it is for Darcy 6. Spin, spin, spin. Oh, exciting stuff. I might get a drink out of this one. I think it looks close. Yes, and he's a winner. There's a passion fruit martini, so a lot of people would be like, totally, yep, winning big time. Other people are like, that's not really winning. I empathize. Both sides, like that. Got kinetic empathy. Did you hear it? That was the sound effect for kinetic empathy. Right, so, Kalink. Thank God. Okay, pretty good that actually. Passion fruit martini. That's pretty good. It's better than that mixed berry mojito I had when I was setting up the camera. It tasted like the lawnmower had been at it. Meow! So yes, you've heard about moving averages. Well, we're flying now, aren't we? We've got sauced up next. 47 months. 47 months. Bloody hell. That's nearly 48 months. Bloody hell. 42 months. Cairn, you legend. You're doing a week. 35 months. That's nearly 6 months. 36 months. 38 months. That's nearly 40. Wow. Hey, it's brilliant. If you haven't actually got one of these green membership celebrations, then you're kind of the odd one out at the minute. You weirdo. That's weirdo, yo. True. So, if you don't want to be weirdly perceived as everybody as like a real low status individual, then you're going to want to become a member, which you do by clicking a button somewhere, right? You click the button. There will be really helpful people in the chat box will explain it to you if you're looking for guidance. Just do hand up emoji. So you're asking me now, what's RSI? What's RSI? That's Drew's Tech. He's the total legend. If you need any tech done, any tech, or you want to understand anything about tech, he's your man, Drew's Tech. Look, somebody just got a membership gift. You're so lucky. Luke Spears, boom. 46 months from Lisa. She's a legend. She's a total legend. So what's the RSI? Is it a legend? No, it's a really suspicious indicator. That's what it stands for. And it was invented by a woman actually called Agatha Christie, and it's called the really suspicious indicator. God damn it. It's so sus. It's got this thing on it called overbought, which is like, have you ever seen that TV show Deal or No Deal? It's like that. It's just, that's the whole overbought area. And then it's also got this oversold area, which is like when even your gran, right? Even your gran has like ditched her GameStop shares. Oh, we had a conversation yesterday, didn't we? Because that's what these shows are, conversations. We had a conversation yesterday about GameStop, which we're in the privileged position of being able to do to an audience who cares, because we've had lots of conversations about GameStop. We've also managed to develop this level of authenticity and truthfulness when looking at the charts and considering the realities that face the business. And we pointed out that of the 700 store closures, a significant chunk of them have been bought up by a company called Paymore, who operate a business that's not unlike GameStop in that it's a trade-in business, right? So I made a joke that it was the retail trade-in community. Some people got extra sensitive about that. All of these people are like new on the block. So we'll forgive them their ignorance. A little bit of grace. We're so nice like that, aren't we? So yeah, really sus indicator though. Jeez, talking about sus indicators. So it's a really good, handy, novelty way of gauging sentiment is when you have a conversation about GameStop and you reflect on some present realities. And there's a lot worse things that could be said. But if you're pointing out like the they're giving up profitable, yeah, cool, profitable locations to a competing brand that operates in the same sector and now literally the same location. It suggests that GameStop's not entirely just pivoting away from loss-making stores, but that entire business model. And so the conversation we had yesterday was about how, what is the business model? Is it held between some duct tape and bitcoins and clatter together? We'll get some guidance, which was along with a notification about voting now being open. We'll get back to that conversation of voting in a moment. But voting being open now, so that was the conversation, clearly relevant to an audience that cares, even if they're not involved. So we had that conversation, and there was a thumbnail that said, "Is it too late to sell?" which was obviously very emotive, and there was associations made between some of the commentary and the thumbnail, which is perfectly understandable if your comprehension levels are that of a child or a toddler, and you don't have the fortitude to sustain yourself through a good 45 seconds of the video. Then it might be that you come away with a negative impression, but then I think these people have share that destiny, and there's no saving them. So anyway, we're going to spin this wheel again 1,000 years. Well, I can comment if I donate at least now. Progress. Darn tootin', that's well good progress. This should be a rule, in fact. Look at that. Can I have a drink, or do I have to spin the wheel first? Yes, just because it might not be me, Might not be me. Might not be me. Maybe somewhere else. Let's find out. Oh no, I just hit it. Hey, he's saying Coco. There goes the wheel. Whoa. Could I have this drink right now? Nope. So, yes, yes, it's already darkness. It's me. If you're out there and you're parched, well, that will persist. It is thirsty work eating parrots. Right, so what did we cover? GameStop. It was funny. Yeah, it was humorous. And we're going to return to the subject of votes shortly. But before that, you wanted to know what support and resistance was, didn't you? I think it's me again, is it? That's me again. Right, that's my cue, isn't it? That's my cue. Okay, so darkness. I beat you, right? But you can. You've been challenged, right? You can try and beat me on this double or quits game, right? Double or quits. I just looked at a card, so I'm going to take that one out so that I don't see what's going on, right? It's hard, right? Intrusive thoughts took over for a second, and I sneaked a wee peek at the cards, right? You forgive me that one transgression. Coco, I forgive you, Coco. See, look, it works. Right, and anger just breeds more anger. So calm down, right? Put the knickers on, right? And are you going to take the challenge? Darkness. Spotter, you tell fortunes. You bet anything you need, I got you. Hit me with your birth sign, and we'll do some pub astrology. Blow your socks off, obviously. Right. So the challenge. Can we get some more likes up in here? Yeah, can we, please? I think we should have some more likes by now. Right, so I truly love a Jamie Tarrant reading. You would. Oh my god, you would. You would. Oh my god, you would. So squint hard enough at the charts, right? Squint hard enough at the charts, and you'll hear me. And you'll hear Coco. Meow. Exactly, Coco. So Coco, at the minute, I'll translate for you, is delivering the support and resistance segment. Coco's explaining that. Hey, Coco. Coco's explaining that. She stopped. Well, I'll try and best my memory. Something about Sheila and her weight loss plan, and Coco was explaining that every time she hits 12 stone, she's like, nope, and phones the Chinese. Right? That's resistance, right? Sheila, resistance. Chinese takeaway. Every time she hits 12 stone. Frustrates us all no end, right? Or Sheila, so it does. Oh, here goes the wheel again in a moment. Higher! Higher, says Kieran. Right, so I'm a 5. You have to beat 5. Kieran's decided to go higher. You decided to go higher. 4. Unfucking lucky, Kieran. That is unlucky, You were odds on to win, and then in the end, it's a glorious defeat, which is worth nothing, and we're sick of them. So, sorry, Kieran. Although, if you're counting cards, my grandpa, now he was a card counter, I'll tell you. Oh, hi, Coco. Right, so what about support, Coco? That was a great analogy, or tortured metaphor, perhaps, for resistance. What's support, Coco? No word on that? Hi, Kieran, I'm sorry, Kieran, you lost, but we're going to spin the wheel again. No, we can't. That would be breaking the rules. And again, that's the one for doing that. Oh. So, yes, resistance. We did that. Support, what is it? That's Barbara, right? Isn't it, Coco? Remember? Coco, we talked about this earlier. You're supposed to deliver your bit now. So, Barbara. Yeah, right, Barbara. She's a nightmare, by the way. So but she is quite the opposite way she talks. So she'll tell everybody that they're beautiful. Everything looks amazing. Like that hat looks great. You go try a different one. You say, "Is this better?" She says, "Yeah, this is magnificent." You look. Does my bum look big in this? Barbara's like, "No, it's perfect." But she always lies, so you can't trust her. That's support, right? So you've got Barbara and Sheila, and that's heart of technical analysis. Really, those two icons, right? Right, yeah. So that's it, right? Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Sheila. Oh, Chinese. Oh, Barbara. Oh, right. Everything's wonderful. So, yeah, that's the key thing, right? It's not magic. It's just think about Barbara and think about Sheila. Like we're saying, pub astrology, but for numbers. Anywho, I'm absolutely hammering you guys at the minute. And we can do some technical analysis for reals in a minute. That's for sauce food cart. Sauce food cart. Did we not get sauce spin in? Maybe we didn't. Maybe that somehow skipped. So we try another spin. It could have been the case. We will make this forgiveness for Mr. Sost. Mr. Soft. That name again is Mr. Sost. There goes the wheel. Coco knows going. God damn it, Coco's brilliant, isn't it? It is. What did it finish on? Me. Again. Awesome. That reminds me of this time I bet on a horse because it winked at me. And it definitely did wink at me. And it's totally brilliant. And it won. And it's great. And I think it probably winked at me because it knew I was going to win. So it wanted me best. And it was great, It was great. It's just like that. So, Sauce, do you want to go double or quits on that? I already beat you. But, we can do it. We can do it right. I can tell you already, I'm a 4. That's very tempting, isn't it? I would be very tempted. Find it hard to back down from that kind of challenge. What do you think? Give it a good squint. Don't give it a good squint. Right. I would tell you what the MACD is at this point, but I don't know. I think it's some sort of Scottish sandwich. I've just seen what you could be getting sauced. Set wheel condition stop on Jimmy. Wheel stop. It did stop on Jimmy. Thanks, Sauce. That was really kind of you. So are you taking up this challenge? Ovs, he says. Ovs. So he said obviously. Thanks, Spinner. He's translating for us. What about from the horse's mouth? I didn't really, to be fair, it's not really staying true to the memory because I didn't require it from that other horse's mouth. But here we are, right? It's just the regulations, fake it till you make it. If you bought Microsoft on Monday, what would be your short-term plan and why? Ricky Bobby! To chastise myself for not being smart enough to buy it at the 388 level that we talked about for so long. And to have had to watch other people in the chat box make money from doing that and maybe like, damn, me again, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Giving all these good trades on the internet, I'm so stupid. What would my plan be for Microsoft? I bought it on Monday. Well, Monday, happy Monday. Where is Microsoft? We have to spin the wheel in a second, Ricky Bobby. If I bought Microsoft on Monday, take home on Tuesday. What was the question again? It's definitely about a misfit. Wish I did that again. I think there's something wrong with my brain. I bought Microsoft on Monday. So you got it on Monday. Where is Monday here? It's in here somewhere, isn't it? 28th April. Oh, you did get it in around those prices. Good stuff. Right, so yeah, I mean, you'd have a stop there, right? Wouldn't you? Especially now that it's gone through a period of testing that gap area, then you'd want your stop in at around 424 or 423. That's what I'd want. And if prices took that stop out, they'd likely be on the way to fill in this gap, which is the prior high. It might not happen for a while. In which case, where else would prices stop? You know, the fact that this thing's really doing you a big favor, right? In that it's in this previous gap area here. So topside level resistance, would be cognizant of price maybe bouncing off that. But Microsoft's the sort of thing that you're like getting an opportunity there on the weekly with that retracement anywhere in around these lows here, putting it in context. Price actions testing this downward sloping resistance above diagonal. It's positive, right? It's positive. And you anticipate a little bit of turbulence in around these areas. And your idea is the Microsoft ticker, presumably, is it's long-term trade. It's more of a investment than a short-term day trade, likely. And you're trying to add it to that position in your portfolio. Maybe that's what you're trying to do. Ricky Bobby. Mr. Bobby. So yourself, Mr. Bobby, you'd have to be cognizant of the fact that it could break down. You know, you don't want anything to get absolutely crap and whatnot, but it's Microsoft, isn't it? And like, there's been plenty of occasion where it's looked like that, and they've been amazing places to buy a Microsoft. This one, no, I suppose you were giving yourself another opportunity. Third failure, broaden information. But ultimately, what's going to happen? It's Microsoft, isn't it? So it'll do stuff like, it could be like this with a V-shaped recovery, putting on like 100% or that 100%. You know, it could just be another 100% move on Microsoft. So that's what kind of, if you think it's not going anywhere fast, well, I mean, that's GMVQ not going anywhere fast. Living in a ghost town. Woo! That's not Microsoft. It's flying. So what was the next thing? It was a spinning the wheel to catch up. So I'd just be putting a stop, trail and stop, and then trail and stop. And then I'd be adding to Microsoft every time it started hitting 200 period moving averages, which at the minute is actually on a gap below here, actually, if we're on what is it? We'll go to 4 or put it in corners. Do we see it here? Does it fit on the screen? Yeah, so there's a gap down here in around 290, 288, and which is also where you find the 200 period moving average on the. Oh look, there's a rock outcrop flash in that area. Also where you find 200 period moves on the. What was it on? Weekly. Aye, somewhere in. Oh, sorry, but that was the support we found fourth. Yeah, it was Barbara. Everything's lovely. So, I mean, it's just like, this is a buy. Ding Curran, because I can only comment by donating stupid YouTube. It'd be like that. I wanted Rocky Bobby songs. 1,000 Years of Darkness yourself. Could I take a quick pick at your chart? Oh shit, I'm not on the charts. Hey. Rusty, just getting used to it, Ken. So, via segue quick to the chart. So here's Microsoft, 200 period moving average there. Rocket Crop Toolkit doing all the hard work. Here's a broad information, 3 touches to the top side. You could be worried about a third touch underneath again. Had that sort of thing previously, price action exploded, put in a 100% move. Also, there's the more likely scenario is it's a V-shaped recovery because the test for important there, moving average, you know, likely is just reacts from support somewhere in this recovery. You get the true V-shaped recovery and then you get 100%, which you had 1-2 times there. So that's probably more likely outcome than this retracement back down to test support again, because that was the retracement to the 200 period moving average. At this stage, through a 236, held the 382, price action recover back into this formation here. If it was flipping chart upside down, looking at you see it's fallen back into the previous formation, had an opportunity to do something that failed, and so now it's back in this area. So that'd be what I'd be thinking. Robbie Bowie songs, look at the charts, got a couple of spins on the go. That's what we'll be looking at with Microsoft. So I'd be following that with profit protection mechanisms. That would be my trade now, the risk, rather than like try to predict the target from below off top, which will be in at around 520. But I'm not trying to say that. That probably is the next, you know, peak before the thing starts putting in a little bit of an area. I'm not looking for it to now put in another 100% move just off the back of that, not under the macro conditions, but you know, we'll see. the next stock buyback could be for $85 trillion with the way things are going, in which case it'll just keep going crazy high. Crazy high. Right, so now, the moment you've all been waiting for is the wheel on this screen. It is. Good man, wheel. Good on you, wheel. Spinner. Spinner up! Who is it? It's me again. Yes! Thank you, Sauce, on this amazing sneaky skill. Right? Right? Did I tell you the story about that time? Did I tell you that story about that time I made £17.42 on the stock market? Tell me, did I tell you about it? We are talking a bit here. Not some pseudo quantum buzzwords for still 64. Yeah, right, exactly, Nana. That's what I was saying. You know, is that you're around. I did great programming on that there wheel. He's reinvented the wheel. Distant things happen on a Trace Spotting live show. So what's up next, mother fudders? Mother fudders. Microsoft is not what you're looking for. Is it? There it is. Microsoft, the internet phenomenon, the AI masterpiece. I'm before I was an internet phenomenon. Maybe we should go back to the big screen, but you do like your charts on this channel. You know, I don't want his commentary or his voice. I just want the technicals. So before I was an internet phenomenon or an internet nuisance, as Sean Connery would have called me, I was just a person, a regular, normal person. I used to watch things on YouTube, and I used to think I could do that. And then I'd think, actually, no, that looks a bit hard. And then I'd go and have some toast and play, you know, a game with the cat, which at the time wasn't Coco. But don't tell Coco that, because Coco thinks she's just been around forever. Hey, so we're at the section. No, we're not at this section. This was the making of the trace spotting origin story. You know, we didn't crack into that. We didn't achieve any of our goals yet. We can't go there yet. Butter. No. Coco needs me to finish this section so that people get the wrong idea, because you know some people don't know that there's jokes. There's some jokes every so often. So, now, like Coco's feeling like there's something bubbling inside her right now, and she really needs to go and take a little chance, a little go, a little effort at some landscape gardening. I also felt something bubbling inside me, and I thought I could get it out on YouTube, make a videos about it. But I tried, and it turns out everything comes out really, really dry and smug, which is just a natural consequence of having lived the life I've lived. God damn it. So I needed a different strategy, something that, you know, something that really cut through the landscape, like Coco's planning to do now. Something that really made a difference, you know. I figured if I ask the dumbest possible questions, we could, about the most interesting conversations and points, then maybe we could discover or uncover some weird truths. And that's what I think we've done together. And it, oh, we got some spins. We got some spins. Jamie, I'm going to start with the one that I should have finished properly a minute ago, right? So hold up. And you guys can't be drinking because I obviously have priority, and it's like badminton. You have to win a point before you can score a point and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. The person just kept going on and on. I was like, win. Yes. What is Anyway, something about badminton. I totally hammered you there. Right, so we've got a CBA on the ASX quick look, hot takes, +1 for the goal. Oh my goodness, what does that mean? Is that English? I think I maybe have a attack of some type if I read that. There's too many neurons in that sentence. What is happening? How many neurons are in one sentence? Unbelievable amounts, Coco. There's unbelievable amounts. Like, zoom in on the pinhead and stuff and whatnot, and something about atoms, and it's crazy. There's so many and stuff. Meow, 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 meow. So what was it? Yeah, Coco. Is this another drink for me? I have to spin the wheel. Psst, there you go. That's that kinetic empathy sound effect again. I didn't start out thinking I want to be funny on the internet. I started out thinking I want to understand things. You know, I want to understand things better. And I want to do that in a big group of people that are understanding things better, important things, and making a difference. So that's what we've been doing. Well, you wait for me to spin the wheel. That's what we've been doing. Right, here goes the wheel. What is this one, by the way? Mixed berry mojito. Earlier it tasted like the lawnmower had been at it. Now it's not so bad. It's funny how things grow on you. An acquired taste. There's a joke in there somewhere. Go on, tree spotting. Yes, I am the champion. So I'm gonna go higher or lower with myself. No, who was that one for? That was a noise. Sounded like someone at the door. Kieran's ghost. That was yourself. Do you want to go double or quits? We've already been here with the fours. We've already done all those ones. Oh, I've had a look. I've had a look. And it's as if somebody has stacked the deck against you. It's just a coin, a phrase. Right. So, that's what you're up against, Kieran. Double or quits. On a 3. Remember, this is Tradespot. Have a great weekend, Jamie. Delius, if you bloody... If it's already started, then this is wicked weekend already. Coco's very impatient. You're going to have a great time, Coco. You just got here. It's going to be brilliant. You're going to have a great time. It's not that kind of hotel, Coco. Lower. Lower than a 3. What has Tradespotting done to you, Kieran? What has Tradespotting done to you, Kieran? Oh my goodness. Can you see what that is? Probably not, because my grandpa's cards are a little bit blurry at a distance. This is the Queen of Diamonds. It's higher. I'm sorry, Kieran. It didn't happen. Didn't happen for you, Kieran. But we were all rooting for you, every one of us. And now we're going to take these to the front. So, haha, they shall be me and the Queen. We did it, as you would expect, milady. Right, so, who's next? Nobody is willing to face the wrath of a Tradespotting spin. So you want to hear more about that early origin? Won't you, Coco? Coco, yep. I sat in front of a camera, much like I sit in front of a camera today. And that's not false humility. That's just where I'm sitting. And those videos, they were brilliant. They were brilliant, but they were inaccessible. Absolutely inaccessible. I was asking questions that nobody actually wanted the answer to because people didn't know what was good for them, which is something I've learned over time. Somebody's interrupted my session, and it was probably Coco. So we're looking at live questions still. Yes, there it is. It was on the charts. Dimmer's open. So we broke that. You want to look at Spy? Is that what you're looking at? There's a bounce there. Talk about going potentially sideways. This sort of first 50 simple period moving average. It's that ferret again. It's that goddamn ferret. Is it a golden ferret cross? Well, if so, it's very bullish. When you think I've got all the questions, change the answers. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. You know, change the questions. Like, is that artificial intelligence just a robot that's better at guessing? Yes, pretty much. Was World War One named that because they knew there would be sequels? Meow. No. Yes, it was. That is the answer. Incidentally, the answer is yes. But behind the gags, behind the gags, I was experimenting with these different chart setups. Behind the gags, users are like, I only know you for the gags. That's the only reason I even heard of a Mr. Spotter. Somebody said sometime, this guy's dead funny. So it was there when I realized that contagion is actually confusion. And if you can propagate confusion, undermine the architecture of knowledge, then you'll finally cut through this impenetrable wall of experts trying to help people with useful videos on YouTube. Instead, you can tunnel away underneath that and create this whole new thing. And I was shown that by recent political developments in America. And that is where all great inventions come from. And then they spread to Europe. So I decided to get ahead of that trend. You know, see if pickles stick around. People stick around to see how that goes, which is, I think, what we're doing quite well. There is LJ for Supercash asking about CBA on ASX, Spotter for Kieran, and the Aussies go easy on those mixed drinks. So many neurons. So many neurons. What are these nerds saying? Somebody explain to me. I shall check it out in a minute. And that's the ASX, that's the Australian exchange, and CBA is not what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It's not that. Right, so we're going to check it out in a moment. Isn't that right, Coco? In the meantime, we've got another thing. Yeah, another thing. Another mirror to hold up to society. Right? I mean, that's quite complimentary to society, if I do say so myself. Right? I have been out there. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. And over time, I got better at being bad. I got better at asking the right question at the wrong time in the wrong tone. And that, turns out, is an even better way of doing things. So, yes. Trey's bought an outline in the lore in a live video. This is how you really make the most of the moment, innit? So, building the movement and the moment, that comes next. In the meantime, the drama today, live person changing their annual general meeting date, which has consequences for the deadlines with respect to shareholder proposals. If you want to submit them, then you have to do it. In fact, you have to have already done it. If it's going by post or overnight delivery, got to get that courier on his bike and out pedaling to HQ, which will be open on Monday, and at the end of the day, business on Monday. That's it. Nada. No more. No more suggestions to include proposals for the AGM. Now, there's no guarantee that you would get included on those proposals. Certainly not in this little velvet partnership we have going. And so that tight window meant that a lot of shareholders who wanted to exercise their right to vote in this annual general meeting for a proposal they had envisaged in and of themselves weren't able to do it due to that reporting timeline there and the details for getting things to offices and the literal span of the globe and the difficulty in organizing important things that require diligence in a very short period of time. It puts a shareholder in an uncomfortable position, one that they don't particularly want to be in. Why does it happen with live person? Well, they've come off the back of a difficult situation at the board where Starboard and then latterly other companies were trying to influence the board to change their policies and behaviors to enact more of a AI agent solution to businesses that's focused on core product and delivered in the KPIs. They were looking for real business growth and a good American shake. So that means with the former CEO now trying to be vocal about his potential vector for approach, means that live person themselves are cognizant of that and sensitive to that type of approach. So it has to be this way, that's fine. And if the requirement of us is to be diligent and on the ball, then that's what we do, right? We'll meet those expectations. Live person downward slope and resistance, they're lucky to have us, you say. I say you're right. They very much are lucky to have us. So yeah, a lot of people wanted to express their opinion over the things that they care about and the stocks that they invest in. One of the opportunities to do that was at the live person AGM. Now that's coming up in 25th, I think, of June. In the meantime, we've got earnings next week. And there is still time if you're able to make your way there or have it delivered. Now, there was amazing ways people were getting this letter across on time. Having just found out about it earlier today, some of them were across the globe on holidays, not with their regular devices. And you know how hard it can be to remember a password? Well, bloody hell. Real big efforts from folks. Anyway, I'm going to take Coco for a quick spot of gardening. And in the meantime, I'm going to spin the wheel again, see who's winning on that front, and then put you to the patio section, which I filmed earlier today. Here's what I made earlier. It's like Blue Peter, but with some booze. That wheel, I span it, didn't I? Why are you not spinning wheel? It's just going to end on Jamie again. This is the best wheel ever. No! Everybody, that'll do. Everybody drink! Meow. Meow. Hi, welcome to the patio section. I am on the patio, in the sunshine, thinking about the live show this evening and reacting to everybody's efforts on Discord. I thought I'd make this segment so that we could refer back to it during the show and take a moment now to speak with you about how people are making a real difference and chat in a way that's not a pitch, because so much of what I say can come across that way to somebody who hasn't heard me speak before or is used to a different goal in a different community and new to what we're trying to do. So more speaking to you as somebody who's walking with you on the same path, which is one of the benefits of the live shows compared to putting out a video which has a particular message. This is just speaking to how that message carries. Today, I watched something remarkable on the Discord. People from all over our community, busy people, working people with kids and obligations, people on holidays, people with limits on their time, not just their money, stepped up and did what most individual shareholders aren't even allowed to do. Some of you had letters printed and couriered across the country. What I'm speaking about is the annual general meeting coming up on live person. The scheduling of that meeting means certain deadlines have to be met with respect to shareholder proposals. You're also subject to other requirements in Delaware law that make it so there's a particular period of holding necessary to demand certain rights are exercised on your behalf by a company. But that's not really what we're trying to do. We're just trying to work with the company in this velvet partnership to boost their prospects and in the same way communicate that deep value the company holds. So it's a process that we're all taking individually, and we believe in this company and we want to work with the company, communicate effectively. But we recognize that they're in a certain position and are coming off the back of their own experience. So there's a particularly tight window for us as shareholders to have our proposals accepted by the company. And when you've got a big disparate worldwide community like we have, to communicate that need, the urgency of the need to overcome the difficulties that each individual experiences and to make the message heard is a very challenging ask. But you did some phenomenal work. People have found local print shops adjacent to the blocks that the HQ of Live Person is on to get their materials walked in the door.
That's real tactical thinking. Some people are driving their packets there themselves in person because you refuse to be late or not be heard. Oh, hi, Rocky. Here, Rocky's just arrived. Yeah, just a quick break at this segment to say that people are navigating these broker delays and they're fighting these outdated systems. Emailing corporate secretaries, bringing their documents and turning up face to face. They're doing the hard thing in a short time window that they were given. It can look like a small action to someone on the outside. A handful of shareholders putting in a little bit of extra effort. But that's not small. That's real power. And it's not measured in dollars or percentages. I'm talking about intention. That kind of intention moves these systems. It makes people sit up and take notice. And so if you're watching this and thinking, I didn't get mine in on time, or I only sent the email, or I'm still waiting on my broker, you're still part of this. Every one of us is adding to each other's voice. And it's difficult to get your timing perfect and your execution flawless. But we're building momentum, making a movement. And we've talked about this idea that in a world of speculators and passivity, the vote is that one thing that gets respect. Not noise, not outrage. As we've seen, the level of passion doesn't correlate to your level of success. It's about action. It's about showing up. And when you show up, you move the markets. Cast the vote, raise your voice, submit that letter. You can make things change. That's the message. We've learned so much on this journey. Not just how to file a form or email a company secretary, but how to move through these systems that weren't built for you. How to win on unfamiliar ground. So if you can do it here, in a compressed timeline, with these broker delays, with these transfer agents establishing hurdles that shouldn't exist, you can do it anywhere on a greater scale. You're building skills, getting strength, and tools that'll matter. Not once, for a one-shot goal, but again and again. What we're doing isn't always loud. It's a velvet transformation. A subtle, strong, irreversible change. Your actions will shine a light on the entire economy. In the same way people originally invested in GameStop hope to achieve. Here you can make a real difference. And that's not a critique of GameStop. It's speaking to the acute opportunity available now. So, if it isn't clear, just because of that association, let me put it explicitly, we're doing something that's never been done before. We're the first to do this, like this. Not as activists in neck attire, not as funds that control the market and distribute shares before they exist and when they don't even have any. This is the kind of culture that can't be branded, bottled, and sold. So, born from friction, persistence, and pride. And also, GameStop wasn't the genesis of this behavior and spirit. We're reviving the spirit that built the markets in the first instance. It's about participation. It's to provide transparency. It's in aid of a vision and acknowledging risk. The banners of traders long forgotten. This is legacy. back to the live show.
Back to the live show. This being a live show. What a live show it is too. Hello, Coco. And that's why kinetic empathy sound effects. That was a rough one. Yeah, so that's why shareholder activism matters, because it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about power. Oscar Wilde's got a quote about that. Accountability, that's a big part of it. Pina colada. Boom! And it's also about whether or not your shares come with those little snacks that you sometimes get at the annual general meeting. Nobody's managed to replace those in a digital setting yet. So speaking of money, what is the economy? Is it a real thing? Right? These are the things I want you to discuss while I take Coco to the landscaping. Is it a real thing, or is it something people just made up? Right? Is it just something people made up so that they had an excuse to wear suits? Sometimes I think that might be it. But, or is it like from the Latin? Now, European viewers will have a much better understanding of this because we're all born knowing Latin. Is it from the Latin economos, which means very confused pie chart in Latin? Or is it just buying stuff, making stuff, breaking stuff, and then blaming it on inflation? Is that what it is? Okay, so these are the cards, right? These are sort of symbolic, you know, of the economy itself, that they're sort of, you know, sort of. They're split into sectors. You could also imagine it like a pizza, I suppose. A pizza wedge. Gets the people going, doesn't it, Gene? Gets the people going, the economy. Especially when you divide it into sectors. So, yes, at the heart of all of it is shareholders who are treated like jokes. Treated like a joke. You know, nobody respects you. You're viewed in black and white. Got a very particular profile. And you're all judged exactly the same. But we understand that capitalism is a game now. Very weak definition, very slack, call it whatever you want, really. Similar to communism. Any word you want, slap your own mate on the back of it. So, shareholders, people who own bits of companies. And we know that it's not collecting Pokemon cards, or fighting each other, or sending angry letters to a board. It's just a game. And shareholder activism is that little bit where somebody reads out the rule book, or maybe the induction video before you crash your go-kart into them. Okay, and we do this because some channels just like to pretend they know what EBITDA means. Hey, we're going to go exploring, Coco. I shall be back shortly to check on the donations with tickers attached. Oh, I've got to do CBA first. CBA, can't just run away. Charts, CBA to the rescue. There you are, buddy. That's hard to argue with that, isn't it? Weekly time frame, tested 236 from where the high is now, so it could come back there. That was a 50 simple, so it could come back there. You wouldn't anticipate anything getting bad until then. Weekly chart doesn't give you an entry signal other than to say prices have broken through the top side of resistance. Daily time frame, you got your test of the 200. It was a double tap. It broke through the previous high, and this looks like continuation. It's also had a retracement back to that previous high formation and pushed back up again. So very positive. Putting it on. Minimum indicator. You're seeing what you would expect with that returning to the bullish control zone. This move looks like it's still got some legs. Of course, it's energy and then the Australian dollar, so there'll be a big impact from that dynamic. 50 simple through the 200 period moving average. What's the daily time frame? 50 simple above the 200, so that was a really good deep value entry at that particular moment. And then 4 hour 50 simple through the 200 price action testing the previous high, retest what is the 236. Looks like it's going to go on at the top side. Maybe you'll be looking at a 1618 here. That's the wrong. So up at around 172. That'd be the next area to look to, and then you would be chucking up $10 a pop to 210. 210. Boom, boom, boom. $10 a pop from 172 to 210. That's just for something to work with. But it's a blue sky breakout back above previous highs. Haven't tested the previous resistance from the prior formation high, so it's a breakout to the top side. Looks good. And 4 hour and everything down from the weekly looks good. And hourly, that's also breaking up. Looks like it could easily push into the bullish control zone further before it sees any rejection, so you would still be looking for 172, after which point get your stop loss, follow that 50 simple on the 1 hour time frame. And when that exceeds the previous high, just wait for price action to put in higher lows, at which point you'd move it up, maybe to the one just past or to 2 behind, and then start using the ATR. And the Duncan channels, look for price action to break down. Stay ahead of the trend. Maybe you want to split your stop loss into a couple of different chunks, one more aggressive than the other, on a sliding scale. That's what I'd be looking at with CBA. Aye, Coco, you and me go for a wee walk then. Landscaping. Okay, let's do it. Meow. Have I missed anything here? LG? For Kieran. Kieran? For Kieran. And Ricky Bobby, maybe I didn't get you. Yeah, we did have a look at that. Awesome. It looks like we've covered everything. It's been a good show so far. How long have we been? Must have been quite a amount of time because it was 21 minutes ago. Elegy did that make job in me. Chimping is Raspberry Pi RPI on LSE ready for its baking yet? Raspberry Pi ready for its baking? RPI. Are we on the right? Yes, there it is. And we have a wheel spin as well. So, wheel spin as we have a quick look. You can do the sound effects. Spread them. Meow. Yeah, if it pushes to the top side, you're looking for 570. And at this stage, you don't want to drop below the prior candle high at 450. So price action is making its move to the top side. Daily time frame, 50 simple had it up towards that at 509, at which point you'd be able to start looking about getting your stop into profit. 4 hour. Back up if it's the 200 period moving average at 549, 550 again. So that's you're looking for 550 again. This is a breakout move on the hourly back above the level of resistance. Maybe you get in around there. It's also a golden pocket, so you could definitely get a reaction. That'd be the place to turn around. Prior daily high is where you found these previous levels of resistance. Not surprise. Important candle close, confluence of 464. Maybe that'd be where you're looking for a retracement to pull you in to a trade. 4 hour time frame. 436. If it dropped below 426, I wouldn't want it in the short term. But yeah, it's an interesting ticker to keep an eye on. Long term, this could be the start of a big move. RSI saying that's what's happening. Significant time frame saying, but you can't enter right now because this is the sort of place that would turn around if that was going to happen. So, a little bit of patience required as he gets the hiccups. Finger squeeze. That reminds me, I was going to look at that for kitties. So, and if Europeans are born knowing Latin, what are Americans born knowing? Barry Basuba. That's such a good question. Barry, that is such a great question. You spoke such good Latin. Does Sauce speak Latin? Maybe he's got it in his genes. It does pass through. It's hereditary. It's like poverty. It's through the genes. So I've heard. TA will avoid getting a soggy bottom on it by taking it out too soon. Taking it out too soon. Hey! So we did that. We delivered all of our important speeches. And that was Barry Basuba. How you doing, Barry? Good to see you. Good to see you, Barry. So Americans are born with certain deficiencies programmed in, like they don't know how to say aluminium and they keep getting it wrong, no matter how many other countries refuse to accept their way of saying it. So it's like a bit of a problem there. They have to overcome, and in that they have my sympathy. They also are born with strange perceptions of physics. I think it's because of the way the horizon meets the sky over there. It's obviously all very different, and so they extend that back through, and they think that freedom is a liquid. This is another concept that's unique selling point of America. You're also born knowing how to sue someone. Yep, it's like just part of the DNA again. And you all understand the plot of Forrest Gump right from the very first 5 minutes, even though it takes the whole movie to properly understand it. So you've got some sort of time traveling movie experience there, which is really good for Americans. Definitely should put that to better use. Meow. Meow meow. And you all know how to claim to be 1/16th Irish because your great granddad, second removed, was born in Manchester. So you're all by default 1/16th Irish. So you know these things like a barcode or something. You just know. That's why we all know it's a simulation. So that's one of the things. That's some of the things, Barry. But sure, you're out there yourself. You'll know all this. Obviously, that's the point. In the question, you were just testing my knowledge. Right? Americans often do that. Say things like tree spotting. What's salad ranch? And I have to be really quick and say a basic human right. And they're like, yes, you pass. Like that. It happens all the time, everywhere I go. It's a common thing. See trace point, like, trace, that's that guy, trace point. Hey, trace point. And then, So, hi, it's great. Coco's really getting jealous now. And suspicious of you guys in the same way you are of suspicious of the metric system. She's like, that, do they really exist, or is it just a way of trying to make me feel silly? Incidentally, yes. So what are we talking about here? Yeah, there's potentially something going on there. But you would be looking for it to do something like that, having fallen into this area, and then you'd be looking at resistance 550. See how it evolves, right? If you really believe in a Raspberry Pi, then why don't they have a cocktail named after them, right? Raspberry Pi something. But they don't, right? So probably, silly overall. Eh? Here in Europe, there's also a degree of flexibility with our political system, so we understand that things are not perfect and made to be worked upon. Whereas in America, your rights are God-given and everything's sacrosanct, so you're born knowing that the Constitution is perfect and must never be changed. And the only people that could change it would be very, very smart people. Smart in that they'd be so smart they'd have decided to die already so that they're not around right now. And if they aren't that smart, at least that smart, then they're definitely not allowed to touch the Constitution because it's perfect. And Americans are born knowing this. As again yourself, you'll know. Right, so that's a really strong bullish engulfing candle. Very, very positive. Looks great. Speaking about bullish engulfing candles, live person. 3 positive candles in a row. I'm not going to argue with that. 4. It's 4 now. Definitely not arguing with that. Trade spotting. How much do you think a HYMC can get to if it finds a large amount of freedom units worth of gold? A large amount of freedom units worth of gold. Can probably get to really high numbers. Like those freedom units, they're worth shitloads on their own. So freedom units. How many bedrooms is a freedom? Like it also depends on your location. That's what freedom units are all about. But if I can get to loads HMYMC, so I do. HYMC. Heart of your Midlothian Club. Fahrenheit is like temperature on crack. It's just like that. Right, so we had a great time there. On the early time frame, Might call that an uptrend. It's very positive. You might say price action's rolling over. I'd say it's gone through a 50 symbol. It's just come down, tap it. It's gone through 200 period moving average. Doesn't test either of them. Calm down. As long as it holds 72 cents, you're laughing. This stage, that's a downward sloping breakout. Further right it grows, the lower that could be. As long as it's higher low, that's good. In the meantime, you're looking for price to continue its current trend, which is up the way, up the way, up the way. You got the 92 cents post market. You're looking for 91 during current market trading hours, and then price action pushing higher, probably test 109 to 113. Coco, holy cocoa, right? Sasha McFashion face. You can be American going to the bathroom. You can be American coming out of a bathroom, but when you're inside a bathroom, you're European. Weird. Things are making movements and stuff, Coco, that they shouldn't be making. Now noises. So before the house falls down. Meow, meow. Right, well, my goodness gracious me. It's coming up for 1 a.m. I think we've done a good job so far today in this stream. I think Coco is now calling me out so much, I may have to go and check it out. We shall have a new goal, shall we? Start a new goal. If we'll do this next week. Shall we do this next week? We should do it. Give it 3 hours because people will be watching this back or late or slowing up later. So, like a good criminal, that's on the wrong thing. I did it with the wrong keyboard again. Having multiple keyboards is great. Said nobody ever. Moni me. Money me. No, money me. We'll do this next time, the same time next week, money me. Start goal. Boom. What about that? Give you something to aim towards. We could also be spinning all this time. So I'm going to take Coco for a walk. We're going to come back and see how the goal went, aren't we, Coco? Yep. Yep. Meow. Let me see if I've got something for you meantime. Meow. Meow meow. Well, like any good episode of Blue Peter, I have got a number of buns in the oven, but I don't think it would be fair on myself to share them right now, what with them not having achieved certain levels of proficiency into execution. Right, so what was I saying? Yes, I can't share those yet. They're not at adequate temperature to take them out of the oven. Ashaha. Jamie, finger. Oh yes, Kitty's finger. See, this is it, Coco. Can't see the screen. Yeah, so fingers 272, 280 post market, up 14% on the day. So that's interesting. 4 hour time frame. Close that gap. Starting a weekly, will we put it in context? You've just tagged the 200 period moving average. RSI's touched the bullish control zone. Could go on from here, but it's very dangerous to enter at this stage because it's just touched the 200 period moving average on the weekly. That's a significant artifact where a price has gone through a 50 simple, not yet tested it here. That 50 simple coming in at a golden pocket retracement, so price action could find some support there. It was previously support a few times. An important level of resistance on that weekly close prior to this one. And you can't argue with that. Doing that, it wouldn't be the time to short it. But if you had a long position, you were looking to cover it, this would be the time. Probably get a big chunk on the value of some puts there, what with the huge volatility spike you've seen in this continuation there on 4 hour time frame. The fact that you saw that wick price action then was rejected, vast majority of that candle being then body after the wick rejection, and then a negative candle, but the next day opening up back towards those highs and now exceeding it. You can't argue with that. You can't jump on the wrong side of that. It's still found support within the bullish control zone, so I would not be interested in shorting that if I was that way inclined anyway. 236 holding that at that point from the wick high, pushing higher in the bullish control zone, so it could go on and you could be looking at a failure swing, but like that previous wick high at 307, that's the target if you're looking to the top side. The problem is you can't like deliver a brilliant section in the show here where am I even on the camera? Like what? Yeah, good. It's hard to deliver a brilliant section right now that could advocate for buying this thing at this stage on the chart, because that would be a completely stupid decision to make, right? The move's already happened, the risk now is really high. This is the sort of place you shift that risk to somebody else and get rid of the thing. You wouldn't want to be caught on the wrong side of a trade that's going straight up your bum bum, which that might be doing. But now that potential outcome can be seen in lots of different charts, which will give you a risk reward entry that's sensible. That thing doesn't. And a lot of people that be looking at this would perhaps be thinking, oh no, but I used to be trading that, or I used to like that, and now it's making a move, and somehow feel that they've got an attachment to it. But if you're not in it, that's false, right? That's an emotional way of thinking. Rationally, you would be like, I don't want anything to do with something that cost me so much previously, because whether or not it's in the moment of opportunity, it might be that I've got a particular framing or focus that's disadvantageous to taking the most of the opportunity, and it's very commonly the case with stocks like Finger. People have been through things with it, so I would put that on my list of considerations. Like, do I think this is brilliant because of some previous interaction with the ticker, or just general trading and looking at this thinking it's the answer to all your prayers? And the truth is that like that's not a great opportunity right now. It's already extended, could easily be price action about to break down, but it doesn't look too terrible. I mean, that's all in the 30-minute time frame. In the 15-minute, that's like actually a buy signal if this thing holds, which it kind of looks like it might be doing. No, and I don't want to, do no harm and all the rest of it, so I'd be cautious to say this, but I mean, that 5 minutes holding that gets good news Monday. Post market wasn't terrible. If only I had the Rocky Outcrop Flash. Yeah, you see, this is the problem. And while it's not heading there right now, it's going to put in an unsustainable move to the top side, probably, which won't be as much as a lot of people are hoping for. Possibly happens even pre-market Monday, and then the risk is really on that it collapses down and tests this 200 period moving average with a cross here on a 4 hour. Golden pocket retracement would be the 50 simple here. 886 would be in at 118. That'd really shake people out. I'd be very, very cautious of that happening. Spotter, what do you think of QuantumScape as a potential turnaround story? Rumors of their anode battery as a potential attraction for Elon and Tesla. But there's always rumors of that, isn't there? Every battery tech. Elon's gonna buy it. Eel's on holiday. It's like Eels on Wheels, but it's a whole new business venture. Eel on holiday, where you go and like become politically extreme for a weekend. It's what is it's sell really would fucking sell. It's like you can roleplay as the opposite side of the demographic. That's funny. That would work. Right, so anyway, before I get caught up on that sort of thing, because this blushing have really come back. See what you do to me. So, what do I think? Why thank you very much for the donation. I think that's time for spinning the wheel. And I have one martini left. Coco, you can eat that food and stop yapping. That's great news. So, what was the question though? Was that the QuantumScape? Well, did you see who else on the internet at all? Maybe there was probably a lot of people talking about Core Weave. I didn't see any of them. I was talking about it. Did you see the move they had? Sputta adding it to the AI fund. Didn't tell you added it to the AI fund. IPO'd hyperscaling for AI companies. Core Weave. What a call? Sputta. So, what was the question here? Post market. Elon wants to buy your batteries. Elon wants everybody's batteries though. That's rank. Fucking hell, that's rank. But they do have a lot of technology. They do have a lot of opportunity, but that is rank. They do have some opportunity, this company, but that is rank. My goodness. So it's like VIX or something. If its mean was 3. This is dangerous. Because that was important and it's now a rejection. So this thing could be going like, who knows bad. Who knows how bad this could be going, right? Really, really, really fucking bad. It's how bad it could be going. It's just been that forever apart from this, which is so fake. 1182. 131. Negative, 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 negative. Boom. Positive. Way negative, negative, forever negative, and now it doesn't matter. I mean, to touch the top of the British control zone, you might be thinking that's grand. The weekly time frame, that is so brutal and dangerous. Sorry, I should be nicer because you're such a nice person and you're nice to other people and you're always coming up with interesting stuff. And I really appreciate you, mate. Really do, especially the last month or so where your activity picked up a big chunk again. Really, really appreciate you and all your efforts. So I want to give you a better, happier response, but that's rank. Like, it's just as rank as it gets, pretty much. Before it get before no one would even bother asking. Like, that's what happens. So I mean, there's an early flashback down here at 161. Was it 361? 3.61. With the 50 simple, probably going to find rejection at the 200 period move, and even if this thing pushes higher, it'll find resistance at around 424, 426, and then it probably come back down, fill that flash in at 160, 361 and whatnot. After which point, it's a good time to look at it again, maybe, because this could be a bottoming zone. But there's nothing at the minute to say that it's not just escaping velocity and it's going to fly off out of the universe into the middle of like whatever central fugal force is pulling it, some horrible black hole that doesn't conform to physics. Suck on this thing since it started. So dangerous, sir. Dangerous, sir. And that wheel, what did it say? Did it give us one last splosh? One last splosh? This is it, folks. If you want to spin a wheel, challenge me to higher or lower, then go for it. You could also ask me to do work, but I don't think that's the ideal scenario. I think you should probably. Also, this is the next goal, isn't it? Yeah, so we could be here this next week doing the same thing. That'd be exciting, wouldn't it? Because then we, season opportunity breeds more of the same, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. We will do this again next week, mon ami. Mon ami. Hi, hello, hi. Exactly. Exactly, Sauce. This is what we're Sheila, Barbara, wasn't it? Those are the two. Is that your friends, Coco? So, Coco is high because that's the part of the rug that we dosed earlier. 1,000 Years of Darkness. I will sing, but you'll have to change your name to 2,000 Years of Darkness after hearing it. What a deal. What a deal. Oh, Bonnie boy. The bank, the pipes, there's somebody, dinner time. Ding, 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 dinner time. What do you think of Conscript? We got that one, didn't we? Oh, hi. On crossbreed dogs and giraffes so they can get their own sticks from the trees. Because this is where sticks come from. Sticks grow on trees. What's brown and sticky? A bit of a tree. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's Fun Day Friday on the Discord. Fun Day Friday on the Discord. What am I doing out here? What time is it? It's 1 a.m. Fun Day Friday. Get yourself over to the Discord, www.discord.gg/rockyoutcrop, where you'll find the voice thread, which has got video and everything, obviously, It's not obvious, but it's true. And over there is the funnest people having the best time playing great music, all living it up together, and the community spirit is fantastic. It's like the club, but way better. Intelligent people who've got something about them instead of a bunch of fucking fannies. So you should definitely be on the Discord in that Discord danger. Get yourself over there. Bloody brilliant, you know, and there's some talented folks among you, so if that's you, contribute your skills, make it even more fun Friday. In any way you can. It's a great way spirit, right? It's like open all mics, but it's not all mics, it's for talented people, which is you guys. Oh, did we spin the wheel or not? We didn't. You talented, brilliant folks. It's www.discord.gg/Rocket Outcrop. You probably already know that. But if the folks that are watching here today, not that I know how many there are, but oh my god, just because I joined, yes, just because you joined Barry. So the wheel, hit it again. There we go. Spinny, spin, spin, spinny, spinny, spin. Oh my god, Luke Spears next week. P.S. Little analysis Spy Vix when you feel like it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Legend. What did that end on? Everybody. Oh, that's perfect. That is. That's perfect. That is. That'll do. This usually helps, doesn't it, donkey? Yes, this helps, donkey. Right, so we're ready. I beat you. I beat you. Hey, I'm so sharp. This should be a fencing club. My line's so trenchant. These shows are trebuchet. This isn't the greatest show in the world. This is just a trebuchet. I've been trade spotting, or I've been trebuchet, or I've been ray tracing, or I've been Carmen San Diego. Thanks for the opportunity to make these shows, which are fucking brilliant and really good entertainment for everybody who persists in their education on economics. You get these little treats at the end of the week. Let's bring them back every week. So achieve that goal, and we'll be doing it and reaching for higher. Trade spotting for hire. That's what it is. The trade-in community should have responded with some witty riposte, not just like, blah, 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 it's his button, it's not worth and GM anymore. Shut up, mate. You fucking fanny. Anyway, a little bit of funniness would be the right approach, wouldn't it? So if you're ever feeling that way, remember, top tip, hit that like button. 2-hour show. Really? And it flew by in minutes. Oh, Spy and Vix. Well, we'll do that. We'll get to that, and we'll make a video, and we'll put it up over the weekend. Because you asked, like you did there, Luke Spears, the legend. If anybody else wants to put in a fax. I have managed to hook up most of the likes. Now, I turned it off earlier because it was absolutely starting to do my head in on the testing thing. And I knew that I would have to deliver a fantastic show for you all. So I turned it off. But these are like likes, and they all do stuff when you get donations. So if something was to come in, I'll notice it and do something over the weekend. As long as it's not like $2.99 and then a 48-page essay you're looking for. But, you know, try my best. Anywho, thank you very much for watching. Looking Swiftly Jamie, thank you very much. Hazel Huffsies, well, if I could orientate things slightly better, then I'd have yous all in full view. You'd have me in Technicolor. Anyway, we've always got each other. So, that's a bonus. And we'll hopefully always have these shows with your support, because they are crowdsourced, and, you know, something about whiskey and buying it or something. What was that quote? It was just, wow, it was so good though, wasn't it? If anyone knows Twitter, it's Ryan Cohen. Really good at it. Brilliant, totally top tips. Ryan Cohen Twitter, awesome. Anyway, so that was a positive commentary on GameStop yesterday. The fact that it makes it onto the shows is bullish, and that we are all well versed in the particular type of jokes that we tell on this show. So none of us are overly sensitive to anyone, particularly criticism, and I'm sure Ryan Cohen shares that thick skin, what with him being a billionaire. And if not, can you stop using Twitter after 12 p.m? Thank you very much, everybody. This has been Tradespine. What a show it is. We should be all celebrating that now everywhere and sharing it on Twitter and making clips, like 60-second clips. You can make them. There's loads at the start. I deliberately made it so that would be good. You can make 60-second clips at the start and be like, this is really good, funny, but you should watch more of the show. And then more people watch it. And then there'll be more people like you Wouldn't that be great? You know, vibrant dynamism, dynamicism. It's like Hawaii and Hawaii, isn't it? Dynamism. Anyway, yep. As you see, these shows can go on for a while if we don't cut them. We don't cut them. We're going to cut it now. Thank you very much, Luke Spears. Everybody else who donated today, which includes, boom, there it is. Change it up. That's not changing it at all. Why is it not changing? I'm going to say, cool, everybody supported the show. Luke Spears, why am man? Barry Basaba, KT50K, Fik Finger Squeeze. Chimpin Yang, LG, Kieran's Ghost, Delete Yourself, 1,000 Years of Darkness, Ricky Bobby, Space Cadets, 41 Months Legend. Microsoft, we got that, didn't we? Good. And Vis-a-Vis, Total Legend, donated the other day and didn't get to it on the live show or the video, so I want to thank you, especially Lisa, and for all the work you do. We're so lucky to have Lisa around. Really are. Luke Spears, who got somebody a gifted membership, they should be bloody thankful. Bloody hell. All the anniversaries. Dashi C, who flicking put in the effort to get today's show on the road. Sauce Food Cart, Luke Spears, Nick G, Japney, You Boogie, Orbital, Kickass Man, XD, Dr. Dave. And Coco, my co-host. Thank you very much. See you for more of the same next week. But bigger and better and slightly